Welcome to Let's Talk with Tara, the space where real life meets real answers. I am Dr. Tara T. Stallings, counselor and coach, here to help you navigate life's toughest challenges. Together, we'll explore psychological insights, emotional healing, relational growth, and biblical truths to empower your journey. So grab a seat, lean in, and let's have the conversations that matter the most. I'm excited to be on today. We're going to continue our conversation. We've been talking about pathways to freedom. What you don't understand keeps you hostage. We talked about how to educate yourself out of a hostage situation. And today we're going to continue on. Today I'm going to give you some practical steps to uncover and understand your cycles. Practical steps to uncover and understand your cycles. Remember, I wrote this book a few years back. I had so many unwanted cycles that I didn't know I had that kept me in this conundrum of depression, of anger, disappointment. So I went on a journey. I did the work. So I want to share with you because there's so many people that are still plagued with great people, but they find themselves in these unwanted cycles. And if any of you know me, I'm a practical teacher. I am practical. I don't give a lot of fluff. I'm straight to the point, cut and dry, basically. And that's my personality. Tell me what it looks like. So let's dive into it. First thing you need to do is seek understanding beyond knowledge. Let me say that again. Seek understanding beyond the knowledge that you have now that's not working for you. The knowledge that you have now that's not working for you. The word of God says, with all you're getting, get understanding. Well, you have a level of understanding based on the knowledge, based on your experience that you've had in your past. But they have you in a cycle that's unwanted. So, with all the information that you get, and that's abundant to us, true transformation requires understanding. It's not enough to get information. It's not enough for me to give you the steps if you have no understanding how to apply these steps to your life. It's not enough to know, hey, I have some cycles that are unwanted and I need to break them off of my life. But if you don't understand where those cycles came from, how they affect you, and the practical ways of applying new information to your life to break these cycles, that information, that knowledge is useless. So it's not enough to know that certain behaviors are detrimental to your life, to your success, to your family, to your health, to your spiritual walk. You must be able to comprehend how and why those patterns persist in your life. You have to, and when I say how and why, it needs to be a substantial why, a why with some substance to it. So that means when you seek understanding beyond knowledge, it's not a one-day seek. You have to sit with yourself. You may have to sit with yourself and muse over, the understanding, the knowledge that you have. Is it working for me? If it is, what's working for me? And if it's not, what's not working for me? What do I need to change? What more understanding, what more knowledge do I need to grasp or seek out so that I can create a new mindset based on the information that you have? Because Seeking knowledge, understanding beyond knowledge, seeking understanding beyond knowledge is going to be crucial in uncovering and understanding your cycles. It's going to be crucial for you. When you understand something, you can transform that. Now, what does transform mean? It's taking it from one formation to another formation. So when you have the right understanding, the right understanding of the information that you have, then you can transform your life. You can transform your cycles from an unwanted cycle to a wanted cycle. The next thing you need to do is reflect on your personal history. Reflect on your personal history. Sometimes in life, I found with people, they don't sit with themselves long enough to reflect on their patterns, their personal history, how it occurs, what's going on in your life, what's happened in the past. So you have to take the time to examine your past experiences and your family dynamics. Because your family dynamics impact your personal experiences. Identifying these recurring themes or behaviors can provide insight into cycles that you may have unconsciously adopted. So let me give you an example of what I'm saying when I say that. When you have to reflect on your personal history. When you look into your family and you notice that, hey, the unwanted cycle that you may have is depression. I don't want to use depression. You may have that unwanted cycle that you're depressed all the time. You find yourself sad all the time. You find yourself thinking negatively all the time. Check your family history. See if your mom was that way, your dad, grandmother. Who else in the family is plagued with the same behaviors that you're plagued with? Sometimes you will see families that the unwanted side, and I'm using that as a emotional reference point, but you have cycles in your life where nobody's married in your family. Nobody can stay married in the family. Everybody's an alcoholic in the family. You have 75% of the families have drinking issues, or they have anger issues. These are unwanted patterns. 75% of the family, people in your family dynamics, that's meaning mom, dad, grandparents, cousins, those people, all the boys go to jail. These are unwanted cycles. All the boys have multiple baby mamas, or all the girls have multiple baby daddies. These are unwanted cycles that you can, if you take the time to reflect, let me check and see what's going on in my family. Let me see what's going on, what has occurred in my family history that maybe I have engrafted unconsciously or adapted to these unwanted cycles. Now, we call them generational curses, but it's still a cycle. It's a generational curse, a generational pattern, but it's still a cycle. It's a cycle. When you go to the doctor, the first thing they ask you for your family history. If you go into the doctor because you have high blood pressure, they want to know who else in your family has high blood pressure, because there's some behaviors, there's some biological genetic codes that have been passed down from each generation. So if you take the time to reflect on your personal history, Personal, meaning yourself, but also your family history. What cycles do you see reoccurring in your life? What cycles do you see? Then we want to identify triggers and responses. Because some of you guys can say, well, I don't know if I don't know what cycles I have. Well, let's identify your triggers and your responses. Let's look at those things. Pay attention to situations that elicit strong emotional reactions. What's that? When someone says certain things to you, the emotional reaction is when I say a strong emotional, elicit a strong emotional reaction, that could be you shut down, that could be you get angry, you curse. That could be a plethora of things. Understanding what triggers certain responses can help you recognize and addressing unwanted patterns. When you can understand your triggers, you can see, okay, you know what, every time you get stressed out, the first thing you want to do is to relieve your stress is to smoke weed. Every time something aggravates you, the first thing you want to do is eat. The first thing when something is uncomfortable to you is you emotionally shut down. These are triggers. These are triggers. These are triggers. Every time someone corrects you when you're wrong, you get offended. You get offended. Why is that? These are identifying your triggers and your responses. What triggers and responses do you continually have in situations that are very similar? Once you can identify them, then you can start changing how you respond. And instead of reacting, because I use the word respond, but really it's a reaction. It's a reaction. Because remember, when you're trying to change cycles, you have to change your mindset, but then also you have to change your behaviors. But it's going to be very difficult to change your mindset and change your behaviors when you don't have a good understanding. And you don't have new information to replace the old information, the old data. I did a workshop recently and I shared with my participants that our brain is the most intricate computer that there is. And whatever you put in it, it's going to put out. You have an input and an output. So if you want a different mindset, you got to put some different information in there. If you want a different output, when you put more information in that you understand, then your behavior will align with the new cycle that you are trying to create. Engage in self-assessment. Now, this is one of the most important steps in uncovering and understanding your cycles. Self-assessment is not a one-time thing that you do. That's not a one instance. You have to constantly self-assess your life. Now, you can self-assess your life through utilizing journaling. I don't journal. I'm not a person that journals, but I'm constantly doing a self-assessment of my feelings, of my life, of my cycles, because when you constantly self-assessing your life, that's going to put you on the pathway of growth. What can I do better? What can I improve on? How does this make me feel? Why am I feeling this way? That's what self-assessment is. So you can do that through journaling or therapy, counseling, to help you delve deeper into your thoughts and your behaviors. Because what a lot of people don't understand is this. Sometimes the traumas that you have in your life, those memories are locked up. We call it disassociate. We have disassociated the pain from those memories. So they're locked up, and you've created another memory that's not the truth. And because of that, it's causing you to have an imbalance in your reality and how you decipher through what's real and what's not real, and even how you interact with people. So journaling, therapy, getting a counselor to help you delve deeper into your thoughts and your behaviors will help you with your self-assessment of your everyday life. Whether it's your personal life, whether it's family dynamics, career, whatever cycle it is that's unwanted in your life. Whatever cycle it is. And sometimes it's things that people have said to you, a belief system that is flawed. When you have that belief system, guess what? If you have a flawed belief system, what's going to happen is when you do a self-assessment, your thinking is going to be off because you have been taught something or you believe something that's not true. That's not true. Or that's false. That's not relevant to who you are now and the life that you want to live. And it has impacted your decision making. It has impacted your decision making. And self-assessment is continual. It's continual. Then the next thing you want to do, you want to develop a plan of action, a plan for change. Develop a plan for change. A plan for change. Because if you don't develop a plan for change, nothing's going to change in your life. You have to have a plan to change. I call it a blueprint. What's your plan of action? So once your patterns, your cycles are identified, then you create an actionable steps to alter those behaviors. You have to create an actionable step or steps to alter those unwanted behaviors. Because, listen to me, if you change your mindset, because there's plenty of you guys, what you're doing, you don't want it, you don't like it, but you're not changing the behaviors. Change the behaviors, because it's not enough to change the mindset, because wherever the mind goes, the body goes. But when you have patterns and cycles, then you have to just get new information, seek understanding beyond knowledge. But then once you get it, you reflect it, you know your triggers and your responses, you have to change the behaviors. And that's where most people get stuck. They know what to do, but their behaviors have not changed. Because a lot of times, what I've come to understand, they know they have the right information and they understand it. They have complete understanding. But because, not complete, I'm going to say 80-90% of understanding. But because they're so accustomed to repeating the same behaviors, they go back to them. They go back to those same behaviors thinking, well, maybe, I know better, but you hadn't done better. You hadn't do it. I don't want to say it how it is. You hadn't done better. You have to do better to get better. You have to create a plan for change, changing your behaviors. And this may involve setting specific goals, seeking support from others, being accountable, and replacing your negative habits with positive ones. Your negative habits with positive ones. Now, I don't have an addictive personality. Some people have what I call, they have an addictive personality, and they're more prone to addiction. Years ago, I used to smoke cigarettes. And when I got really stressed out, I really wasn't a big drinker, but I smoked cigarettes. And whenever I got stressed out, I would smoke me 2 Benson and Hedges cigarettes then when I was smoking, and I would drink me an ice cold Michelob. But when I got stressed out, my go-to was smoke me 2 cigarettes back to back, and I'm getting me an ice cold Michelob. You better leave me alone, because if not, I'm coming at you. That was my mindset. So when I stopped smoking, and when I stopped drinking, when I first stopped smoking, and when I got stressed out, I would go get me a Twix bar, 2 Twix, and an ice cold Dr. Pepper. That would be the things that I use to remind me to calm down because I'm upset. That's what I use. But now when I'm upset, I use my tools. I know, okay, I'm upset. Why am I upset? That's the first thing I go back to self-assessment. Why am I upset? Why is this stressing me out so much? I start asking, this is how I talk to myself. What's going on with me? Why did this make me angry? Why am I so stressed out? I ask myself this question: what's changed in my life that I need to go back and create another plan of action so I'm not feeling the way that I'm feeling? And once I do that, guess what? I identify it, get me some more information, some more understanding. I reflect on it. I know my triggers. For me, and I use me for an example, when I'm tired, when I'm overwhelmed, when I'm overworked, my stress level goes up, and my thinking process becomes affected, so that I'm not focusing the way that I need to on the positive for me. So it affects my focus. So when my focus is off, I know I need to go back and say, okay, this is not working for me. And then I also add in exercise, because exercise for me, this is my plan of action. When I'm too stressed, when I can't think, when my focus is off, I know I need to exercise. I know that for me, I need to get up early. I need to exercise. I need to meditate so that I can get my body back in alignment, my mind back in alignment, and my spirit back in alignment for me. And finally, the last one is this: commit to continual growth. You have to have a growth mindset. To break unwanted patterns, it's an ongoing process. It's not a one and done, you guys. It's not a one and done, because we are creatures of habit. We are created to have patterns in our life. That's how we live. We have systems in our life. So it's going to be ongoing. So breaking unwanted patterns is going to be an ongoing process. So you have to regularly revisit your progress and make the necessary adjustments. It's going to be crucial for your sustained change. If you don't have the growth mindset, that's where that reassessment, go back and check your plan. Once you develop the plan, when you notice that things are off, you're not working the plan, go back and say, okay, let me reassess it. Let me see what's going on. Let me go back to the drawing board, so that you can understand that, hey, I'm going to be committed to have a growth mindset, and that growth is on a continuum. it's on a continuum. You never get to the point where you're there. You're gonna, as long as you're living in the earth, you're gonna always be growing to make yourself better, a better person, better personally, better in your relationships, better all around in every aspect of your life. You have to understand to uncover these unwanted cycles. That last step is understand I'm going to commit to have a mindset, a growth mindset, and it's going to be continual. I'm going to continue to reapply and apply these steps in your life so that you can have the life and lifestyle that's going to lead you to have a more fulfilling life. A more fulfilling life. Tomorrow, the next day, 10 years, 20 years, and beyond. And beyond. Next, we're going to be talking about moving towards a life of fulfillment. Because once you get these steps down, you can start moving toward a life of fulfillment. A life, and it's on a continuum. Make sure you guys follow me on my YouTube channel. I'm going to have some great podcasts, some good new live teaching, and some guests on. So make sure you follow me at Let's Talk Tara on on YouTube, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already subscribed. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in to Let's Talk with Tara. If you found today's conversation helpful, don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a review. Let's keep this dialogue going. Follow me on Let's Talk Tara for more insights and encouragement. Remember, every step forward starts with an honest conversation. Until next time, stay grounded, stay growing, and keep talking.